everyone, I'm gonna be sharing my day at Pixar. So before I start the video, I just wanted to thank Disney and Pixar for sending me all the way to your office. I had such a great time, but you know what? Less talking, more showing, so let's get into it. So we started our day pretty early. I decided, you know what? There's a whole bunch of new characters. I happened to thrift an orange sweater, so I decided to wear that and dress as Anxiety, sort of, for the day. And as you can see, I was in Team Joy. So they got us all onto the bus, and here's me, seated next to Denise. First stop was the entrance of the Pixar office. I was a little bit too happy. I was a little bit too excited to be there. But I still kept my cool. I think I kept my cool pretty well. Okay, they're chasing us already. We need to go back to the bus, and then we're gonna see what's in store for us today. And we were off to the main campus. When I got off the bus, the child in me was in such disbelief simply because I don't know, it's like this is the same air as the people who have created the most iconic movies that have stuck through generations, and just being in the same space was just you know? And just before we entered the building, we were greeted with their iconic lamp and ball. That's where they set us down and they told us the program for the day. The staff told us that we were able to show our pass and get ourselves like a little Inside Out 2 stenciled coffee or drink. So me and Denise obviously had to go and grab ours.
What emotion are you gonna choose?
We should choose different emotions.
Okay.
If I do sadness, you do joy. They're like a good duo.
Okay, let's do that.
It was nice. My stencil came out really neat. It was really nice. And I think not many people got sadness, apparently. It was just me. But yeah, I thought it was a really cute thing to experience. I know it's small, but it's in the little details, you know, that makes the experience a little bit more fun. We were so hungry. And the thing that made me super excited was smashed potatoes, man. If you guys have not tried smashed potatoes, you need to try smashed potatoes. It's great. Had really good bacon. I know it does not look it, but it's great. And then the staff came up to us and told us to get ready to head into the theater so we could watch like a 30-minute snippet of Inside Out 2. Over here, I'll just have to explain it to you guys because we were not allowed to film anything, even though me and Denise snapped a few photos. Me and Denise sat at like the front few rows. The Singaporean in us could not help it, okay? We sat in the third row, I think. We were the only ones on the third row. We were so pleasantly surprised to have the one and only Pete Doctor, Mark and Kelsey, which is the director and producer of the show, come and give us a little talk before we got to sit down and watch the movie. Here is our reaction.
We just watched the first 30 minutes. How was it?
It was so good. I was so excited.
Yeah, I wish you could share more, but yeah, it's good. Being the director and producer actually talked to us about their journey and inspiration behind the movie, which is I'm having goosebumps now.
So after that was done, they started with the tour. So we had an amazing tour guide to bring us around. It was really concise. We only had 20 minutes, but we got to see so much of the campus. What I loved about being there was there were these little nods to the different shows that they've made. One of which was the seagulls from Finding Nemo. There was the caterpillar from Bug's Life. There was like this huge painting of Bo Peep from Toy Story. And as we were walking, we got to see that they had a basketball court, they had a swimming pool, they had a gym. That's insane. And on top of that, we got to walk past the recording studio, the very studio in which many actors gone in to bring these iconic characters to life, which is moving on. We got to see the Parr family, aka the Incredibles.
That is a fireplace.
Edna, and a space where they got to chill, wind down, and that was when you see this shelf of trophies, the Oscars that they've ever won, which is crazy. I think I've only ever seen souvenir versions of these guys. Like, the campus was originally owned by the Oakland Oaks baseball team, and they had a room to actually pay homage to them, which was great. So you know like how Disney has hidden Mickeys? They had like little shapes of lamps and stuff like that, or like things like the special number code that actually represented the class that the animators were from. It was cool to see them in movies, but it was also cool to see them in the building.
So all the early stages of animation movies are all in this building.
Next up, we headed to the office, and guys, the amount of creative freedom that they have is next level. They built literal huts around their office, castles, jungle themed, tiki themed. It's insane. It's like one of those things where they basically wanted the animators to have a space in which they are free to just create and let their imagination run wild. There was one part of the office that was super cute. Everyone who's ever worked on the Inside Out 2 show or movie, they had their posters up out on the floor and everybody like just went and like signed their names. Also, while I was walking, I saw this poster that said emo night and I was like, It just reminded me a little bit of home, you know, like Singapore emo night. Now, the next activity was one of the highlights of this visit. It was getting a chance to record a tiny scene from Inside Out 2 in the recording booth, in the recording studio. So you can see in the video, I was really nervous. I could hear my heartbeat beating through my chest. Everyone was super nice. Denise went first. She's such a trooper, oh my god. She did so well, and watching her perform made me feel like, okay, maybe girl, I got this. Here's me, just trying my best to make it work. If you guys like to see the final version, I've uploaded it in another video. The next activity was us having a chance to see how the camera and staging work was done for Inside Out 2. That was super interesting. So as you move, like as a cameraman, you're moving in that little stage that they've built in the software. It's amazing. Just being able to see how they were able to shoot at different angles to achieve different emotions and different messages they wanted to get through to the audience for that scene. Amazing. Our next stop was actually a little art room where we were met with the character art director, Keiko Murayama. She was actually guiding us on how we could draw anxiety. And then we got to also learn how to draw joy. I really appreciated and cherished that moment.
What they want? What? That's so crazy.
And I think that was about it. We actually moved off to lunch. Now, during lunch, we were met with some unexpected news. But it happened to be one of the highlights of this trip, like up there. So they came to me and Denise and said that, hey, you guys are also scheduled for a junket. And I was like, wait, what? No one told me about this. But you know what? You have an hour or two to come up with some questions. You can do this. You've interviewed people before, just not something at this scale. But you know what? You can do this! And I think we had like an hour in, so we decided to visit the Pixar store. Oh my god, the sweaters were so nice. The hoodies, the shirts. But I could only afford a shirt, like a basic shirt. But you know what? I'm happy.
This is so cool. This is actually pretty legit.
And before you know it, the time has come. Me and Denise were asked to go upstairs. I couldn't film this, but we were asked to go upstairs and actually film our interview. I was like, oh my god, the help. I told them it was my first junket and they were so sweet.
Yeah, come on in, have a seat.
If you guys like to check out the whole video, it is posted on my profile as well. Estelle at Pixar is about to end the video, so I'm gonna hand it over to her.
Yeah, so much has happened today. And then being able to talk to Kelsey and Mark was such an experience. I got to ask questions I've always wanted to ask, and my heart's full. I'm just so appreciative of this experience, and thank you guys at Disney for allowing this to happen. And thank you guys for joining me on this little journey behind the scenes at the Pixar office for Inside Out 2.